All right, now we're going to talk about something called prime factorization. So this prime factorization is using all of those prime numbers. So if you forgot your prime numbers, remember if you go back 2 slides, you guys have this prime numbers chart where we circled all of the prime numbers to help us. So please, if you need to, use this prime numbers chart. But what we're going to look at is this one. Okay, so for the prime factorization, what we're doing is we're taking numbers and we are finding factors of those numbers that get us down to all prime numbers. Okay, so the example of how I'm going to look at this, and these factor trees can look differently depending on what numbers you use. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. So if we take 24, what times what equals 24? Well, when I think of it, I think 2 times 12 is 24. Okay, so 2 times 12 is 24. 2 is a prime number, so that's why I put it in the circled one, because it cannot go any further. 12 is not a prime number, so we have to still keep working with it. Okay, so what times what equals 12? Well, 4 times 3 equals 12. Okay, 3 is one of those prime numbers, so it's circled. 4 is not a prime number, so we have to keep going. What times what equals 4? Well, 2 times 2 equals 4. Okay, and now I'm going to show you what I mean. So we got down to all prime numbers. I'm going to show you what I mean with 24, and I'm going to do it again a different way. Okay, so what times what equals 24? Well, 8 times 3 equals 24, right? 3 is a prime number, so I'm going to circle it. 8 is not prime, so we have to keep going. Well, what times what equals 8? 2 times 4 is 8, right? 2 is prime, 4 is not. 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 are both prime. Okay, in the end, I got down to where I have 1, 2, 3 number 2s, 1, 2, 3 number 2s, and 1 number 3 is my prime. So either way, any way I do it, I'm going to end up with the same answer. So it does not matter which way you choose to break up your numbers. So everybody's factor trees might look differently when you're doing this, but you're going to end up with the same answer, okay? So for this one, this prime factorization, our standard form, when we talk about standard form, all we're talking about is the actual number. So what number did we start with? Well, we started with the number 24. So 24 is my standard form of this number. Okay, that's how I write this number in standard form. Okay. When I talk about expanded form, what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these circles, here, 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 and here, and we're going to multiply them together. So I'm going to say 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 is my expanded form. All of those prime numbers are going to be multiplied together. Okay. And then our exponential form is where we are going to simplify our expanded form, basically. So if you notice, I have 1, 2, 3 number 2s here. So if we remember our exponents, whatever number is being multiplied repeatedly is our base. So 2 is going to be my base. And then we're going to say to the power of 3 because it's being multiplied 3 times. And then we're going to multiply it by the number 3. Okay. If you guys need help putting the exponent up there, in your settings, let me see. There is a subscript button. When you go to your text boxes, one of the text box options is to do that. Or you can use the little caret button that is included with the number 6. So you can say a little caret up there and then that number, okay? All right, now we're going to talk about the number 560. Okay, and we're going to do the prime factorization of 560. Okay, so let's look at this one here. So if it ends in a 0, the first thing I can see is that it is, a factor is 10. So I'm going to say 56 and 10. And is 56 or 10 prime numbers? Nope, neither of them are. So factors, I'm just going to focus on 56 first. So factors of 56. Well, what times what is 56? 7 times 8 is 56, right? 7 is prime, so I'm going to circle it. 8 is still not prime. So what times what equals 8? And you guys might want to write this out on a piece of paper because these get kind of long. What times what is 8? Well, 2 times 4 is 8. And 2 is prime. Well, what times what is 4? 2 times 2 is 4. And 2's are both prime. Okay, now we're going to go back up here to the 10 that we left behind. And what times what equals 10? Well, 5 times 2 is 10, right? And 5 and 2 are both prime. So now we have all of those numbers that we need in here. Okay, so the first thing it asks us is the standard form. Remember, the standard form is just writing out the number. So the standard form is 560. When we write this expanded form, it's usually written in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to start with my 2's, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have a 5, and then times 7 as well. Okay. All right, so that is our expanded form. And then when we take exponential form, we're just combining anything we can combine. So I notice we have a whole bunch of 2's here. So my base is going to be 2, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So 2 to the power of 4. And then we only have 1 5, so times 5. And we only have 1 7, so times 7. Okay, that's going to be my exponential form. Okay, now what I want you guys to do, I want you guys to go ahead and pause the video, and I want you guys to go to the next slide here, and I want you guys to try this one on your own. So try 130 on your own. Once you get your answer, come back and check your answer with mine. All right, remember your factor tree might look a little bit different than mine, depending on what numbers you chose. But in the end, your standard, expanded, and exponential form will be the same. So our standard form is 130. Our expanded form should be 2 times 5 times 13. And our exponential form should also be 2 times 5 times 13. There was no numbers that got multiplied more than once. So there's no exponents in here, so it's going to be the same. So now go ahead and go to Schoology and complete your assignment.